Hi, good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining us for this webinar. We are waiting for other participants to join, and we will begin in next 5 to 6 minutes. Let's wait for another 5 to 6 minutes, and then we will begin. So, good morning, school leaders. I can see many people are joining us. So, while we are waiting for others to join, I would like you to probably share which part of India you are joining us for this webinar. I can see a lot of good morning messages from many of you. A quick message if you could probably share for others. So, where are you joining us from? Which part of India? As this webinar is for all the schools across India. So, if you could probably share, I can see Jaipur, Kolkata, Punjab, Chennai, Ahmedabad, Bangalore, Patna, Navi Mumbai, Sonipat, and we have from Kerala also. Nice. Varanasi, again, Navi Mumbai, Arunachal, Baroda, Ahmedabad, Kolkata. Thank you so much for being a very engaging audience, and I would like us to do the same when we move ahead with this session. So my name is Jispal. I represent Tundemi, and I'll be helping you with this session. We have our keynote speaker with us. We are just waiting for others to join, and we will begin exactly at 11:10. Meanwhile, I would request people who have joined from different schools, and if you see that somebody from your school is still missing and they were supposed to join, probably you could use these 3-4 minutes and get them online for this webinar. If you find somebody who is not part of the webinar, who was supposed to be part of the webinar from your respective school, so we can use this time to probably invite them. Thank you. Two minutes to go. Teachers, we will begin exactly at 11:10. So we are at 11:08. 11:10 is the time when we will begin. So please stick around. So while we are waiting for others to join, a quick question for all of you. We can see the topic which we are going to cover in today's webinar, which is on socio-emotional development in early childhood. So the question is, how important this topic do you feel is when we look at the younger kids? Let me make it very simple. Is it important or not? A simple yes no will do. I could see one message that you are not able to hear me. Kindly check your uh, network connection, please. I can see others are able to hear. So I would request whosoever is facing some challenge where they are not able to hear, please quickly check your internet connection also. I can see a lot of yeses, and that gives us the confidence. Okay, we have picked the right topic, and it is going to be something which will add a lot of value for all of us. 1 minute to go, guys. Yeah, relevant, important, yes. I'm sure we all are on the same page. All right, so we are at 11:10. All right, let's begin. Once again, good morning and welcome, teachers. Thank you for joining us on this Saturday for this webinar, which is on the topic, which is socio-emotional development in early childhood, building foundations for life. We all agreed that it is important topic. It is relevant topic and it will add a lot of value. So Let's not wait more. Let me quickly start with the webinar and let me introduce our trainer for the day. Her name is Shubra Rao. And let me give you a little insight about her, and then she will walk us through this and she will help us understand this topic in depth. So she comes with 19 years of experience in education. Shubra Rao is an educator, curriculum developer, and teacher trainer specializing in early year education. Having worked across diverse age groups and learning styles, she has developed deep understanding of the socio-emotional needs of learners. She draws on this expertise to train educators in building positive, inclusive classroom environment that nurture curiosity, confidence, and meaningful child-centered learning experiences. So over to you, Shubhra ma'am, and just walk us through, how we will be able to use this in our day-to-day life with our younger kids, whom we cater day-to-day for our respective schools. Over to you, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Jaspal. Thank you so much for that beautiful introduction as well. I will try my best to stand up and live up to that introduction that you gave. But certainly, when you ask this question to all our participants here, whether socio-emotional development is important or not, I could see so many yeses and so many answers saying that we need to understand the psychology of the learner who's in the classroom. So that tells me that my task is actually very easy, and everyone here is already an enlightened soul. So probably we'll all walk through this presentation, and I'll only be a medium through which all the learning or understanding will just come through to you all. I'll make sure that you have joined us on a Saturday morning. So I'll make sure that it is worth your while, and you'll get something from our webinar today, which will help you in your classrooms and how we look at early years development as a whole, right? So thank you so much once again, everybody. Thank you, Jaspal. All right. So now, before I start off with the presentation, I'm not sure if everyone everyone has joined from so many different places, whether the academic session has started or yet to start. But I'm sure if you want to recollect, you will be able to recollect a couple of your learners who, when they joined, were showing or displaying a very different skill set in terms of emotional and social well-being. And now that probably you have finished your academic year, you are able to recollect and think, yes, that I could see the difference in my learner after he has been through the academic year. So when you think of that child or that particular learner or a set of learners who came but were looking very apprehensive or taking a lot of time in settling down, but gradually now, with the academic getting over, you feel you did something, some kind of a magic in the classroom, and children were actually settled and very comfortable with you in your academic year, or you intend to actually make them comfortable. The intention of socio-emotional development here rings a bell, that the child who is coming to me in my classroom will be very apprehensive, will be very scared, will be very nervous as to what lies ahead. But I, as an educator, know that I have these children for the whole academic year, that is for almost 8 to 9 months, 10 months. So it is my duty that apart from learning the academic part of the curriculum, I'm able to help them develop into well-rounded human beings, right? So that is the intention with which we'll dive into our presentation. And I'll be I'll be asking questions. So I want everybody to keep listening to what we are talking about. And please do pitch in by writing your responses in the chat box. Let's begin now. So first of all, we need to understand what exactly are we talking about when we are talking about socio-emotional development. As the term suggests, it is in a very simple way um, learning the techniques or the skills to live with ourselves and with the people around us, right? When I'm saying live with ourselves, meaning we are trying to understand our own self. And when I'm saying with the people around us, that means the socio aspect of it, right? So when I'm saying this by itself refers that to the fact that children are yet to learn how to manage their emotions, how to speak, not just in terms of what to speak, but what is the way in which they need to put their sentences. Also, as they are growing up, they are developing their sense of self. They are trying to find out more about themselves. Trying to find out more about the surroundings. So, social emotional aspect deals with this particular emotion or this particular development, where young children in early childhood, now we are talking specifically about early childhood. So, we are saying that in early childhood, the socio-emotional development refers to the ability of the children to understand and manage themselves. They are able to understand and form meaningful relations with others in the society. Simultaneously, they are able to develop a self of self. We'll dive deeper into all these words and terminologies to understand this particular aspect more clearly. So now social emotional aspect of learning underpins the attitudes with which our children approach the challenges of learning. So this is a very beautiful sentence which is helping us understand that when I am talking about socio-emotional learning, I am actually giving the learners the ability to approach the different challenges they are going to face. Now, this for now in early years would be with regards to academics. It also could be with regards to the outside world. So then it means that the objective of socio-emotional is not just limited to the school environment. It is all about school as well as the society. Correct? Hence, this second point that is written, the academic objectives may change from lesson to lesson. That is, I have my lesson timetable planned in a way where I'm going to start with teaching maybe my children the formation or identification of letter A. Then they are going to do numbers, maybe under identifying number 7, and blah blah blah. Many things planned for the day. Now, what aspect of it will deal with the socio-emotional learning part? The entire day is a area where you will get the opportunity to deal and to help them mold their social emotional skills. Right? So here we are saying that the academic objectives will vary from lesson to lesson, but the attitudes that we are going to help our learners developed through social emotional learning skills will be a constant and throughout the day. So, for example, if a child learns ABC, fair enough. But if the child simultaneously is able to learn that even if I'm not able to recognize A, B, and C today, I will be able to do it with practice, with help, then as a teacher, I have done my job because I have helped that learner understand that academics can be achieved, but I need to tweak my way of thinking. And that is what is my achievement as a teacher if I'm able to do that in the classroom, right? So going ahead now, I want you all to have a look at this particular slide. We are talking about different kinds of intelligence. I'm sorry. We are talking about different kinds of intelligences. We all are familiar with this term, that is IQ. We all use it very liberally. That the IQ of this learner is excellent. The IQ of that learner, that child is really not able to understand very quickly. I need to spend a lot of time with him. So this word we use it very loosely, though it basically is about developing thinking skills, reasoning skills, how to remember things, and also solving problems. The other type of intelligence that we all have started using is emotional question. What is emotional question? When we are talking about emotions, that is understanding and managing emotions, right? The third type of intelligence that we see is called SQ, which is social quotient. Again, now social means with the society, which essentially means building meaningful relationships, able to manage those relationships, learning to cooperate, learning to communicate. This is all about social quotient. And the fourth one, which is a fairly new one, is adverse. It's new in terms of new in our knowledge, maybe mine perhaps. Adversity quotient. Now, what is adversity quotient? This is something which is, I think, very, very important along with the other three. This adversity quotient essentially means that we help our learners understand it is all right to fall, but it is equally good and important that we bounce back. This is adversity. So that means adversity questioned. Now, this means resilience. This means the ability to come back after a failure, right? So this, now I want you all to please type on the in the chat box and tell me, do you think all these four types of intelligences are important in early childhood? Or you feel one takes precedence over the other, and which ones do you think will take precedence over the other? Again, I'm going to tell the question is, we have spoken about four types of intelligences. In academics, definitely intelligence quotient is pertinent. Emotional quotient is when they are going to manage their emotions, learn how to manage. Social is when they are learning to behave with the surroundings and the society. Adversity is when they are bouncing back, learning resilience, right? My question is, do you feel all these four are important, or do you feel one or two of them are more important than the other two? I want you to quickly respond. All are important. All right. If everybody is giving me this answer, then again, I think we are on the right track. We are there for our learners, and we are there to just guide them, because we will be doing activities, or we will be doing those kind of things in the classroom, which will ensure that all these four are taken care of for each day in the classroom. I see the teachers are actually very enlightened and already aware that all these four kinds of intelligences are essential. I will be talking more about the adversity quotient, because this is something which, we will get indirect opportunities in the classroom where this can be exhibited first by the teacher, and then modeled, and then the children copy and do the same in the classroom, right? Or in their whenever they get the opportunity. So now I'm giving you a very simple question example. There are two learners in the classroom. Okay, they are, both of them are building blocks, right? One of them builds a really tall one, and the other one is still grasping how to make the tower taller. Suddenly, somebody comes and trips over, and the one with the taller tower, the blocks all fall down, right? And the child starts crying because his tower was so tall, he had put in so much effort. Now you tell me, if I want to talk about the implementation of any of these four intelligences, which one do you think you are going to use? Keep in mind the four intelligences. When this opportunity comes in the classroom, what do you think will be your approach, and why will that approach be there? So my approach, I'll just quickly share with you, as not as an educator but a layman, would perhaps be, I will go to the child and tell him, no problem, it broke, please do it again. You will be able to make a taller one again. Do you think this is the way you will be approaching this issue in the classroom? A quick yes or no, or maybe a thumbs up if you have that option here. Do you have an option here for thumbs up and thumbs down? If not, then perhaps just message on the chat. Do you think this will be the approach that we just go and simply without any drama, just tell them? So my question is, if the tower fell down, as a layman, I'm not going to use my knowledge or information. As a layman, if I go and tell the child, no problem, it fell down, let's rebuild it again. Do you think this is an appropriate way to approach this issue where the child cried when the tower fell down? So I can see everybody saying yes, yes, yes. Now I want you to specifically tell me which particular intelligence did I use when I gave this response that you can make it again. EQ, fair enough. AQ, fair enough. All right. Perfect. So I'm getting EQ and AQ as an answer. Mostly yes for EQ, but certainly yes for AQ. Because again, we are teaching the children how to respond when there is adversity. So when I, even as a layman, am telling them that it's all right, it fell down. Now you build it again. So there is failure, but you can walk and you can bounce back. That is my intention of helping you understand what these four types of intelligences are. Now, when I'm going in my classroom as an educator, at least I will be more open to seeing and finding out those opportunities where I can help children develop any of these four intelligence. Am I making myself clear to everybody? And are you on the same page as I am when I'm saying this fact that we will be more open to looking for opportunities where we are able to help our learners develop any one or all of these kind of intelligences? Yes? Perfect. Perfect. This is very nice. And you all have been answering so rapidly. It's so difficult to even read, but beautiful responses. Thank you so much. So now, with this, what I was trying to say is that normally, as an educator myself, probably around 10 or 15 years back, I would have been more, emphatic on helping children understand their academic part, their values, or probably how they should do things, what is the right way to do things. But now, gradually, the focus is also shifting on and making it more important that children also learn that they can do things even after failure, even after they are able to see they are not able to do something, they can try and become better at things. This becomes more pertinent, as I always point out, that if you have noticed around maybe from the past 10, 12, maybe 15 years, the ability of children to take negative responses has really gone down, right? So we see so many instances where just a learner who is just in sixth grade takes offense to whatever is said negatively in the classroom to him or her, and they take some extreme actions. Maybe a 11 and a 12-year-old. From where are they getting the idea that if somebody has said something negative about me, I am done. There is no future for me. How are they getting this idea? That means we have fallen short of helping them understand what resilience is, how they can bounce back, how they can fight for their rights, how they can be more resilient to many other failures that they are going to face. Right? So it becomes more important that we develop this kind of intelligence in them, that they can stand up for themselves and they can take a stand that no matter what, I am here and I am there to fight for things. I'm able to put my point forward. Whether it is accepted, not accepted, is immaterial. This is all about the upbringing that we are providing to our children. And hence, in the classroom, when they are coming to us, it becomes more of our responsibility to take care that emotionally, socially, intellectually, and in terms of adversity question, we are able to take care and mold them in such a way that they become strong individuals with good resilience, with good sympathy, empathy, communication skills. So, like I said, a well-rounded individual, right? So this is what we wanted to portray from this particular aspect. Now, when we are talking about social emotional development, this factor where we are helping our learners in every way is going to play a very important role, right? And we have to keep it in mind that whenever my child comes to me with a problem, whether I directly give the solution or I am able to help the child see the solution by themselves. This is something, this is your first takeaway from this particular, these many slides that we have seen, that when my child is in the classroom, out of all these four things, is everything done within a day? Or have I been able to address at least one or two kinds of intelligences throughout the day so that my children become well conversant and well aware of these things, right? If I am satisfied, yes, I was able to do it, then it was a fruitful day for me, right? Moving on now. I will be asking you some questions. I want you all to think about it very calmly and then respond with a yes or a no. All right. My first question is, do you believe that every form of a every form of a behavior is a way of the child communicating with us? Do you believe, I'm repeating my question, that every behavior that a child shows in the classroom, right now we are all educators here, so classroom, is a form of communication that the child is trying to tell us? Please type it in the chat box and let me know your response. Perfect. I did not think there'll be any other answer other than yes. So yes, absolutely fine. Thank you so much. Okay. Next, second question. Children naturally learn social skills without any adult guidance. Is that a yes or a no? Children learn the social skills without any adult guidance. A yes or a no? Okay, we are getting a mixed bag of replies with a few yeses and nos. Okay, all right. So now, when we say social skills, let's understand that social skills are something which we learn only when we come into the society or with people around us. Correct? So when children come to a school setup, when children go to a garden, that is when they get to interact with somebody who is from outside their family, right? So that means they will only get to see uh, people around. They will notice what those people are doing. They will try to model the same thing and practice the same thing. Hence, what my reply to this answer would have been that no, social skills are not learnt naturally. They need to be modeled for the learner to copy and start doing. Right? This is my reply to the question, that how to behave in a society is something that doesn't come very naturally to anybody because we are born as an individual. We are in a family where we learn things because we observe our adults doing it. Then we move on to the bigger group of children or adults around us, and we learn from them. That is why in the classrooms, whenever we have our PTAs, don't we tell the parents that please do not talk negative about the school or the teachers in front of your children? That is one of the ways in which we are telling that children are going to copy what we are going to do in front of them, and they are going to repeat the same thing. Similarly, if you yourself as an adult are a picky eater, how can you expect your child not to be a picky eater? Because he's seeing you not eating your, finishing whatever is there on your plate. So these are things which children observe. And sadly, they will observe and pick up the negatives, this like this, while the positives probably we need to enforce and ensure that they copy and model from us, right? That is the sad part of it. Sometimes that happens, that they will pick up on our negatives very quickly. So that is why, as an educator, I need to be very aware of what my body language is in the classroom, whether I'm frowning a lot, whether I'm shouting a lot. How do I respond to children when they ask something? What is my general body language in the classroom, and how do I respond? These are the two things you can take away from this particular question, that I need to develop beautiful social skills in my learners. Hence, I need to model it to them, right? So if something is there in the classroom which you want to address and it has made you angry, how you show your anger also is something which they are going to observe and they are going to copy you. It's not just that. I always tell teachers that, parents will always come back to the in the parent teacher meeting and very proudly tell you, ma'am, she copies you, the way you put your dupatta on, she copies you like that. She will dress up the way you dress up, and she also talks the way you talk. So that means they are, observing us for little things that we do in the classroom. So I mean, I'm sure you all are already very vigilant and careful, but be more vigilant and careful of what your body language says in the classroom. All right? Third question. Everybody, all ears, please. Okay. Do you believe that social and emotional skills are just as important as literacy and numeracy, or let's say the academic part? Do you think social and emotional development skills that we are talking about are equally important as academics? Yes. Okay, I have a request that I should also talk in Hindi. Um, I'm not sure, ma'am, actually, because we have teachers जिन्होंने पूरे हमारे यहाँ पूरे इंडिया से ज्वाइन किया हुआ है. सो नॉर्थ ईस्ट में या बंगाल में या फिर साउथ से वो लोग समझ नहीं पाएंगे. हेंस मेरे लिए मतलब मैं नहीं कर पाऊंगी कि मैं हिंदी और इंग्लिश में बात करूं, बिकॉज वो लोग मिस आउट करेंगे. सो मैं ट्राई ये कर सकती हूँ कि अगर ध्यान रहा तो मैं रिपीट करूं, बट प्लीज एक्सक्यूज मी, बिकॉज मोस्ट ऑफ आर टीचर्स are from all across India. I'll not be able to speak only in Hindi or explain in Hindi. Wherever I am able to, I'll do that. जहां जहां कर सकती हूँ वहां करूंगी, definitely. Thank you. All right. So the answer I got for this question was yes. Do you believe social and emotional skills are just as important as academics and literacy, like literacy and numeracy? Perfect. I also agree. In fact, if you ask me, I would have said more important than academics, because anyway, they will learn ABC 1, 2, 3. If not in nursery, they will learn it in LKG. But like I always say, we are in the foundational years. So the term itself says foundation. So this is the time when we are building their foundation. And hence, developing them socially and emotionally will be weighing higher than academics for me as an educator. All right. Fourth question now. Good behavior is something that children are born with. Do you agree or you don't? अच्छा बिहेवियर हम लेकर ही आते हैं, हम पैदा ही होते हैं अच्छे बिहेवियर के साथ. ये है कि नहीं है? Okay. Mostly I saw yes. There are a couple of, sorry, mostly I saw no, but there are a couple of yes. Now my question is, कि good behavior, that is how to behave properly, it is something that we are already born with. Mostly, like I told you, good and bad are subjective, right? Perfect. So I got an answer. from Pooja ma'am. She said environment and parents also matter. Absolutely. So there is a concept called nature and nurture. नेचर मतलब जो बच्चे के नेचर, जो नेचर से मिला है, यानी जब हमारी जो हमें हेरिडिटी मिला है, जो हमारे पेरेंट्स से, वट एवर वी हैव गॉट फ्रॉम आर जीन्स, दैट इज नेचर. While whatever we are getting from the environment is nurture. What are the values I am being brought up with is nurture. My parents are developing me, my grandparents are helping me develop into a well-rounded human being. So that is the nurture part of it. So normally we say good, I mean, uh, good behavior is something they will be able to only observe and replicate, right? It is not something we will be born with, but certainly repetition and reinforcement of anything good is going to help our learners become better individuals, right? So mostly that is, I'll say the answer to this question would have been a no if I were one of you, right? But no worries. Everyone has their own point of view, so perfectly fine. If I was able to convince you and change, you want to change your answer, perfect. Next question is, do you think kindness, empathy, and resilience should be taught intentionally? Or, I mean, intentionally, not or, but just like phonics. You know, you are teaching it like phonics. That is, you're teaching children to be kind, you're teaching children to be empathetic, or resilient. मैं हिंदी में क्वेश्चन बोलती हूँ, क्या दयालु होना, एम्पैथी यानी दूसरे के लिए सद्भाव रखना, ये सारी चीजें हम बच्चों को हमें सिखाना चाहिए, या बच्चे ये चीज ऑटोमेटिकली सीख जाते हैं? आपको क्या लगता है? सो वी हैव गॉट अ यस, मतलब सब बोल रहे हैं कि yes, it is something that we need to teach intentionally. Yes, this is in continuation to what we learned earlier, that these are skills that are going to get developed only when the child engages with the society, right? So जब बच्चे बाहर निकलते हैं घर से या घर में, बच्चे ऑब्जर्व करते हैं, when children are able to observe and see the behavior around them, they develop it. So yes, we need to teach it explicitly, right? So yes, we must teach it intentionally. As per current scenario, we should give live examples to teach these important things. Very beautifully said. Yes, they will learn on their own, but only thing we teach them. But the only thing we should teach them. Yes, I mean, I think what you're trying to say is that they will learn on their own by observing what is happening around them. But intentionally, we need to put that value or what that thought into them, so that they are able to understand that, yes, I need to be empathetic, I need to be kind. So we need to talk to them, give them instances from real world, choose, select stories which show these kind of behaviors to reinforce what we are wanting our children to learn, right? Perfect. So then these skills do not appear as, unless and until we talk about it. We need to model, guide, and we also need to practice it. Now I will give you one, I'll ask you one question from an example. Okay, I'm giving you one scenario. There is a child. Absolutely. Absolutely. Creating drama by teachers. Yes. So drama, puppet show, story, these are the ways in which we can talk about these kind of skills to the children and understand, help them understand the behavior. Perfect. Very good answer, ma'am. Thank you so much. Yes, Aarti and Ramandeep, ma'am. Beautiful. So the situation is, there's a child who grabs the toy, right? Normally, what is the first reaction we'll say? Are, what did he do? Why did he do that? What is this? This is not the right way to behave, correct? This is a general reaction that we have when some child does something which is out of the blue and which is anti-social. That is something which is not acceptable in the society, right? So the child who has snatched it might get labeled normally, correct? But we need to understand, probably that child has still not learned the vocabulary to ask for something. So the child very naturally grabs it and takes it, right? So now comes the relevance of literacy when you are helping children understand how to ask for things, correct? So that means just imagine now the correlation between we have to distract them. Yes, we have to, but if you distract them, you are only solving the problem in that particular minute. But actually, when the child is grabbing, I need to understand as a teacher what the child is lacking in. What is it that the child couldn't do so that he could have simply taken it instead of grabbing it? You know, so that means I can develop his vocabulary. Yes, please, may I, can I, whatever you want, whatever vocabulary you want your learner to develop for asking in a very decent manner, we need to do that. So that means we need to equip our learners with appropriate vocabulary, right? So here comes the importance of our language development, of our emotional and social connect with the subjects that they are learning. Perfect. Yes, ma'am. Magic words, good manners, all these things, because we are talking about social and emotional understanding. So instead of asking what is wrong, I need to ask, what is that child lacking in? How is it that I can help? Our upcoming slide is going to help us understand this very aspect. Let us have a look. Now, in Tundemi, if you're using our curriculum, I want to simply share with you, we are talking about social and emotional development of our learners. Where is it that we are helping our learners develop this? I said we will be able to mold their behavior, model our behavior for them throughout the class period, that is throughout the day. In specific, if you ask, then circle time is the time where we have given you lesson plans for developing social emotional understanding of the learners. And then the day is there for you to ensure that what they learned or what they were able to see in circle time, they are able to implement in their rest of the day. Then we are successful. We can say we are successful in helping children develop social emotional skills, right? Now what is it that we do in our circle time? Let's have a look. So the activities that we have given you are in such a way, you would have noticed that first is that when are we suggesting the circle time to be in the morning when children are just coming in. Now when children are coming in, they are coming in with their set of issues. What are those issues? Their issues are very, very huge and mighty. Today my mummy did not turn back and say bye to me. That's a very big issue for them. Today my grandfather was going to leave, drop me, but then my father said, no, no, I am going to leave, but I wanted to come with my grandfather. That is a very, very, emotional aspect for our little ones. So this kind of challenge that they are coming with, we need to give them some time to just settle down, calmly talk to them so that they feel calm and they relax after having those heavy feelings that they are carrying with them, and come in the classroom. Once that happen, gather them around. Make them feel wanted, make them feel very happy that now, after all that grievance that they had, they are here in a safe environment and we are there to help them overcome their sadness and their fear or anxiety or whatever negative feelings they are feeling, right? If they are happy, that's kudos to the teacher that they are coming happily to your class. That means you have won your battle. So once we have helped them settle down, we will start with our circle time. And then that is the time where we are going to do the activity given in the lesson plan. Now, the activity would be given in such a way that you have the opportunity to interact with each and every one of your learners. In case it's a group activity, you can ensure that when you are doing that group activity, your learners are engaged. And if anyone has a question, they are free and they are capable of asking their questions to you, right? Once that activity is over, you all have done it, children have enjoyed it. It's always a good idea to interact and ask them how did they feel after doing the activity. because that is the time when you will come, you will be giving them the opportunity to express themselves. We will go further and then we will learn about the importance of this particular part where we are giving them the opportunity to help them understand their own feelings and also how to express that feeling, right? Closure, and the closure, that is the part where we are helping them understand what they are feeling, and then concluding the entire activity with whatever highlight was. For example, if the activity was to talk about kindness as an activity, we did some activity where probably we did some craft activity where children had to make a heart, and they were supposed to just put their thumbprint and give this to the help that is there in the classroom, that is the didis and the maushis. Now they are learning empathy, they are learning kindness, they are learning how to respect other individuals also. Once you have done that activity, it is very important that when you are culminating or finishing that activity, you relate and come back to what your objective was, that my learners will be able to appreciate what kindness is, and they will be able to give example. So here they will be able to give the example that when I was in the school today, we wanted to say thank you to our Didi who helps us. That is the, what do you call her? The help that is there in the classrooms. And we all thanked her by making a heart-shaped card for her. This simple activity is going to help your learner understand that we need to say thank you. We need to respect that Didi for the work she is doing for us on a regular basis. And now pose a question to your learners. Who else do you think you can say, go and say thank you to? Who else do you think you will go and say thank you to when you reach home? Bring their focus to the fact that when their mama or who adult in the family is giving them their lunch box, they need to be grateful for that. So we are talking about all these values by doing activities which are there in the lesson plan, which will help children develop these social emotional skills very beautifully, right? So this is the structure of a beautiful circle time in the classroom. Now, when I said that circle time is something which normally we have suggested, yes, in the beginning of the day. But the values that we are talking about or the skills that we are talking about, these are to be taken care of throughout the academic year and in each of the days that the children are there with us. It is not something that is done in a day as a free time, yeah, story time, yeah, it is some circle time is the time that is there and I need to do this and it is over and I'm done. No, because it is specifically meant for developing their social emotional skills. We have to keep in mind, today we talked about kindness. I am going to point out and give them opportunities to point and tell me, ma'am, this is kindness. Oh, so in this story, the boy gave a piece of his food to the dog. Oh, that is kindness. Yes, ma'am, we understood what kindness is. Then we are targeting that this particular value is passed on to them and they understand and implement it with the activities that they are doing, right? Hence, this is the structure that I was talking about for the circle time that we have given you as a one of the domains, one of the activities in the classroom. Am I clear till now? It has been a monologue so far, but did was it clear to you all what I tried to explain to you? Wonderful. So then, a very warm welcome, a connection activity, a discussion of the activity, the what children are feeling, reflection from their side. This is how we need to end our circle time, right? This will not take a lot of time, but certainly you have to be mindful as a teacher that there should be a conclusion to the activities children do so that they have a takeaway from that particular activity, right? So thank you so much, everybody. Moving ahead now. When we are talking about circle time or social emotional development, which in our lesson plans is called as circle time. What are the skills children are learning? We are going to talk in depth about these few skills. These are not limited to just these many skills, but this is an umbrella, term that we are using for each of the skills they are going to learn. What are these skills? The first one, or the ones we have kept here, are self awareness, right? What is self awareness? What is self management? Social awareness, relationship skills, responsible decision makings. Now these are words which I'm sure each one of you as an adult, as an educator, knows it, right? What is self awareness? You can, if you want, you can type it out, but I will assume that each one of you is already aware that self means about ourselves, awareness means being aware of ourselves, right? Breaking down the words, so that is how these skills are mentioned here. I am going to now dive into what these skills basically are in depth, so that we are able to understand its implementation in the classroom scenario, right? Let's move ahead then. The first one is self-awareness. What is self-awareness? Now, for example, TPS, um, uh, Jaspal, some teachers here in TPS Sun City and others have raised their hands. If you could just go through their chat and understand if they're
Sure,
facing.
sure. I'll check that.
All right. So coming back to self-awareness, um, if you ask this question to yourselves or to your learners, tell me, has anybody ever lost in a running race? So if I'm asking to my learners, say LKG child or a nursery child, in their way, whichever language, आपको जिस भाषा में पूछना है आप पूछेंगे, बट आप ये पूछ रहे हैं कि आप लोग कभी रेस हारे थे क्या? और अगर हारे थे तो कैसा लगा? How did you feel when you lost a race? Now, when you are doing that, what are you doing essentially? You are asking them to tell you what they felt, right? Now, when you are asking them to tell you what they felt, it is essentially that I am making them think about themselves. We are making them self-aware. What did I feel? मुझे कैसा लगा था? Now the child is going to think about what he is feeling, right? This is self-awareness for our little ones. So when in the classroom, normally, when children are crying, when they are just coming to the academic session as freshers, we know out of our, muscle memory, we will ask, why are you crying? We don't know. Have you ever got an answer to that question, by the way? A crying child who has just come in the new academic session, if you ask this question, why are you crying? Have you ever got an answer? I, for one, haven't ever received the answer. Why? Because firstly, the child is so engrossed in crying, he is barely listening to you. Second, even if he is knowing why he is crying, probably again, he doesn't have the vocabulary to express it. So the child basically will not pay attention to what you are saying and continue to cry. Do you agree with that? This is what happens? Yes? Right. They want mama, mummy ki yaad aa rahi hai. Absolutely. So they are thinking about their family members. They are coming in an unknown environment. But because they are not able to express it, they are not able to tell us and they continue to cry. It is not because they just want to cry. It's only because they are genuinely not able to help it. Right. So the children specifically, they are not aware of their feelings when they are very small, right? So we have to give them that bandwidth. We have to give them that ability to start expressing themselves. Hence, it is our job that we give them the opportunity to develop the vocabulary of what am I feeling? Why am I feeling this way? What am I good at? What is it that I am finding it difficult and I'm not able to understand? What is it that gives me lot of happiness? What is it that makes me angry? These are the words that children need to know, because then they are able to express themselves very clearly, correct? So from now onwards, make sure, I'm sure, as I said, you all are very enlightened teachers, but still, if ever this happens in your classroom, make sure that you have given them the ability to talk so that they are able to express themselves. Now, remember, for example, we have given you some snapshots here, which say, which says indicators, that is the snapshots of indicators in preschoolers, which are actually going to help you understand, yes, children are self-aware. Here, for example, a child notices that they feel sad when their favorite toy is taken away. That means that child is able to understand that, yes, I am feeling sad. Why am I feeling sad? Because he took my toy. Now the child is able to express and say what and why. That means the child has become self-aware. Similarly, if the child is able to tell you, now some very small, PG children and nursery children who are still developing their vocabulary, they start howling if they are hungry, but they are not able to tell you they are hungry, right? But as a teacher, now I know it is this time, this is the time. Normally he cries, and when I give him food, he's able to, he's fine. That means now I need to give him this word. I am hungry. Hungry is the word for the child to understand. Are you getting the gist of what I'm trying to express here? That we need to give children the ability to express how they are feeling, what they are feeling, so that we are able to understand that they are knowing themselves, they are self-aware, right? So this is, and then again, like I said, we can pat our brain, ourselves, that our children have become self-aware. When we help children name their emotions, we are actually strengthening their brain pathways, which will connect the feeling with the vocabulary, appropriate vocabulary or language. So remember that this is also a way of building their brain, right? Helping them understand the correct vocabulary for what they feel. I hope self-awareness was clear to you. I'll quickly move on to the next one now, which is equally important, not that it is not. The next one says self-management. Again, we all as adults know what is self-management, right? When it comes to our little ones, whether they are able to identify and then do something about it, that is self-management. I am feeling angry because I'm not getting to slide, right? So now child was aware that he is angry, but what does he have to do to control his anger or to vent out his anger? That is something I, as a teacher, need to give him a solution, right? So, taking turns, setting goals, making choices, respecting others, we need to be vocal of these words. Okay, now I know you are angry because you didn't get the chance to slide today. Let's do one thing. Once this particular child, whatever the name, has done it, then you go and slide. You can wait for your turn, and then I will ensure that you get your turn. This gives the assurance to the child that I will get my turn. If I don't, ma'am is going to help me, right? So we are giving them the vocabulary also, we are giving the solution also, and then ensuring we stand along them so that they feel confident and safe, and that the teacher will follow up on what she has said, right? So that is trust building, which is very important for little ones, right? So this is what self-management is all about. The next aspect is social awareness. Again, being aware of the people around us, of the surroundings, of the environment. What is it that children, how are children indicating if they are actually aware of this? When they are able to understand that someone else is also feeling something. right? You would have noticed even very small children. We see so many. I have become a big fan of those videos where they show little ones in the social setup, and how a little one is actually going and helping another one, maybe not to cry, or give something from her kitty to him to play with. So these are all instances where we are able to explicitly see that these children who are going out of their way to help their friends, or their children in the surrounding, or adults also, then that means that child has become socially aware. And that is also one of our goals, that in my class, when children are coming, they are going to deal with individuals. So if I am helping them understand that, sometimes Dhruv gets angry, when he gets angry, then I want you to come to me. Because sometimes what happens in classrooms is, when a child gets angry, he starts hitting the other one. Now, other children get scared, right? And they might hit back even though they do not want to. But in such a scenario, if you tell your children that, okay, whenever somebody is hitting you, you will come and just tell me, and teacher is going to do the needful. I'm going to take care that nobody hits each other. All right. Now you have given them the solution that they do not need to hit back, but they need to come to you. This is also one of the ways in which we resolve issues in the classroom. Now, the other thing is that if the child is not sharing anything, like I said, that we help them understand that, see, he is not sharing. Will you go and help? Will you go and help that learner, or will you help your friend to share his toys? How will you do that? Take responses from them. What is it that they think is the solution? So that back and forth movement of dialogue is important, because now you get to understand their understanding. What is it that the child will do to solve a problem in the society or in his social setup? That also is a way to develop their social awareness, and giving them or equipping them with some solution as well, right? So again, this is a very important aspect, because this is what we all are going to be. We will be in a social setup, right? We will not always be in our homes. We will be out in our jobs, with interacting with other individuals. Hence it is important that we develop this awareness in our learners right from their foundational years, right? Excellent. May I move ahead now to the next aspect, which is uh, relationship skills, something which is very pertinent in today's times, something which we all observe, and we are able to understand where the problem is, because we are not communicating with one another, right? So even children need to understand that I need to um, develop relations with others. I need to develop my behavior in such a way that I'm able to interact and be with others in the society as well. Correct? So when we are talking about this particular aspect of relationship building, then we need to understand that children develop this only by modeling behavior. They are able to develop relationships when they are able to see that it is happening in the environment. When you are, coming down to their level, being empathetic to their needs, they are able to see, okay, this is how communication happens. This is how we can talk. Then they will do the same thing with their peers. So when you are telling them, two children are, one child is just sitting down, not playing with the other children, then go to that child and ask him, what do you want to do? Do you want to play with them? Okay, come, I am going to take you, and you can ask them, may I play with you? So now you have given them the tool for them to use it and include themselves with the others, right? So we need to do that very, very consciously with our learners, because trust me, this is something which will help them adjust in the society very nicely, right? Otherwise, they will always be loners. They will not be able to have the skill, right equipment to deal with the society. right from their childhood. If we are able to help them develop this, then we have again done our jobs well, right? So it is important that children need to understand what the other person is feeling, is able to communicate to them how or what can be done. And it is all about getting along with others. There's nothing else. So they learn how to talk politely, they learn how to cooperate, how to listen when someone is talking, and also to help when there is a problem, to resolve when there are small interactions where there is disagreement, right? So fighting is not the solution. Again, comes from these kind of things that happen during relationship skill building that happens in the classroom. Am I clear to everybody? Yes? Thank you so much. So we'll now move ahead. Um, Finally, responsible decision making, something which I am still developing though. But yes, something which we need our little ones to actually develop. Yes. Do you all agree that we need our little ones to start thinking of what will happen if I do this, if I don't do this? Yes. So consequences, facing what is the consequence of your action, is again, the child will mull over what has happened, why it has happened, and if I had not done this, this would not have happened. The ability to think back also needs to be developed in these foundational years, right? For example, this is a beautiful example here. Um, a child suddenly, again, like I said, the children are drawing in the classroom, right? They are coloring, they are drawing, and accidentally one of the child's elbow hits the other one, and his drawing goes haywire, right? The child whose drawing went bad has two options. First is he can shout and get angry at this boy who nudged him. Or the second thing is, if I, as an educator, has helped the children develop this aspect, that if I shout, I am not going to nothing is going to change. My drawing has become bad already, but I'm going to upset my friend. I need to help my children understand that it was an accident. This can be done in a day's time. Many a times these things happen in the classroom inadvertently. गलती से हो जाता है. So बच्चों को ये समझाना जरूरी है. We need to help the children understand that there are times when things will happen accidentally. For that, you do not have to throw a ruckus, or you do not have to create tantrums. You can handle it by peacefully just shifting a little to the other side so that this nudge doesn't happen again. As simple as that, right? So giving them this opportunity to think what will happen if I shout and what will happen if I don't shout. This will happen when you model it. If something happened in the classroom, for example, if a child accidentally spilled water and water fell down, right? Our reaction as a teacher should be what? It should be, I'm giving you two scenarios. Just now only Didi came and cleaned. What have you done? Who is going to clean it up now? Right? And the second one, that all right, oh, this was an accident. Oh, it fell down. I hope your dress didn't get wet. All right, let's do one thing. Do we have a cloth in the classroom? Let's go ahead and wipe it. Or let's go and call someone to wipe it. Between the two options, you tell me, is this not manageable in the classroom? Absolutely. No need to yell, because again, yelling comes very naturally to us. Yeah, as adults, to all the more naturally. And as teachers, I think this is our second nature. But then can we curb or control that urge and try to model the right behavior so that children are able to make responsible decisions next time something like this happens? Yes, be vocal about it. Then, when you do this, absolutely. So beautifully, Sushmita Devnath ma'am has written, from next time, be a little more careful, my child. It's okay for now. Very nice. We don't need lot of time for this. You might feel, oh, this all this talking and everything, it's going to waste my time. It's not. Trust me, if you have put in a week's time or 10 days or even a month's time in developing these kind of attitudes in your learners, your academic year is going to be as smooth as, oiling a machinery part, an engine oil. It's going to be as smooth as that. But if we don't address these issues in the beginning in the proper manner, then the whole year round it is either we are yelling, we are getting exhausted, and children are not able to get solutions which will help them develop as a wholesome individual. Correct? So this is very important that we take care of their decision making by modeling correct behaviors. Now, these are very important two aspects which I'll quickly and finish it off very quickly. But you need to go back and go through Erik Erikson's theory, because as an educator, I feel anyone who is dealing with human beings, we need to understand psychology, and this is one of the important theories where he's saying that children, when they are So that child is trying to get your attention. Ruby Panjwani ma'am has written, what if a child spills water intentionally? What to do? Because it is about a child in the classroom. All right. We will talk about it. Maybe teachers can put in their responses to help this ma'am, Panjwani ma'am. I will rush through. I have to finish my presentation. So first let me do that. And I will keep in mind that I need to address this issue of yours, and we'll try to address it before we culminate, right? Yeah, so talking about this particular aspect where the toddlers or, nursery children, that is 18 to 3-year-olds are coming to us. When they are trying to do things on their own, they will just push away your hand and try to do something on their own. Now, as a teacher or as a parent, sometimes we lose patience. We don't have the patience. But we need to understand now, when you are learning about this theory, that this is the time, this is the age group where a 2-year-old is not trying to show, I want to do something out of ego. It is only that this is the time they are able to do certain things on their own, and they are getting the taste of doing it independently, right? So they are now developing their individuality. They are not doing it out of stubbornness. Trust me. They are only doing it because now they want to make choices, they want to explore, and they want to do many things on their own. Let them do it. If you are waiting and a child is trying to put the zip of his bag, he's trying hard, he's not able to do it. Wait. Others can be busy with something else when this child is doing. Let the didi or someone in your class take care of the others. If this child is trying, let him try. Because again, the child is developing his fine motor skills. The child is actually problem solving. The child is trying to make a decision that if I put this zip down, does my bag close? If I pull it up, then what happens? How much strength do I need to put so that the zip is actually going across the entire line? So these many things are going inside that child's mind. He's only focused on that. So let that child explore it. Once or twice or three times, the child will struggle and waste your precious time. For us, it is a wastage. For them, they are developing so many other skills alongside. So what I'm trying to say here is that specifically for teachers who are for children from 18 to 3 years old learners, let's be let's first learn to be patient and keep this in mind, that these children are trying to do things on their own because they are developing their independence, right? It is not ego. They are not stubborn. They are not doing it to irritate you. They are only doing it because they're excited now that, oh, I can do this. I can reach there and I can pull this down. Wow. So that feeling of excitement is there in them. So let's try to be a little patient with this age group and help them do it on their own, whatever is possible and practical, right? If the child is trying to put on the shoes, insists on doing it, wasting your precious time, get away from there. Just see, observe that the child is doing it and not falling down, losing his balance. That's enough. The child will eventually do it or come to you for help or start crying. You will know when to help. Don't put it on for him, right? Tell this to the parents specifically who may not know what is the right way to deal. Again, so coming back to this, that children are able to do things, they are trying to do things. What is it that I can do in the classroom? I can give them choices, so that now they feel, okay, ma'am is asking me which one I want this one. The child is expressing his decision. Good enough. If you ask them, okay, now which song should we sing today? You are giving them the ability to think and tell you. So again, they are able to decide what they want and they are able to tell you. Ask them to help you in the classroom. Again, they are developing their fine motor, gross motor, all kinds of skills. They will develop this feeling that I can also contribute and help ma'am, right? So we are developing their, boosting their morale as well. So there are multiple ways in which we can actually help children develop or build confidence through little activities that they want to do on their own, right? Now this was about children who are 18 months to 3-year olds. Now comes the challenging part of 3 to 5-year olds. Here what is happening? How many of you do you recall they were always ready with some or the other question? Why is the moon always walking with me? Why is the sky blue? Why does the fish not fly? Right? Why does the cow have 4 legs and we don't have 4 legs? Why don't we have tails? So many questions. Now, what are those? That is actually a very healthy sign that their brain is working well and they are asking questions, right? No matter we might not be able to answer them, but yes, we need to give them that boost that yes, very good question. Let's try to find out the answer, whatever be it, right? So whenever these children actually, they are very full of ideas. So we have given the title as initiative versus guilt. What does this mean is in this age group, children will try to take initiative. So some will say, okay, let us now, ma'am, let us now play hide and seek. So the child has suggested this. It could be at a very odd time, but the child has taken the initiative. So if we turn it down very bluntly, then the child will now stop from taking this initiative. And they will start feeling that, oh, I cannot give good answers. I cannot give good suggestions. Maybe I'm not good enough. So we are developing that child's guilt, right? So it is important, even if you want to turn down their suggestions, do it in a polite and a meaningful way. Oh, just now, Arav, it's a beautiful idea, but just now children are eating food. How are we going to play hide and seek? Let's do one thing. If we get a free period today, we will definitely play hide and seek in the class. Are you all ready for that? All right. So now here you have acknowledged, accepted, given a reasoning, and then moved ahead. That is how we make these children our friends. That ma'am listens to me, she understands, and yes, ma'am said she will do it. If it is not that time, it can be later on. But we are listening to their ideas. We are giving them, we are encouraging them. We are giving them opportunities. So children will develop these skills, which is written here in the PPT, that they will develop creativity, leadership, problem solving, and also empathy and social confidence. I want you all, if possible, to do go through the rest of the age groups also. This talks about till, they are in their 20s also. So please do go through it. It will be very interesting read for you all. Am I clear with this? So finally, this says that our response as an educator determines whether those learners grow into confident human beings or whether they start doubting themselves. This is up to us. Very big responsibility, teachers. Yes, do you all agree with this? Perfect. Wonderful. So let's move ahead. Quiz time. This is my favorite time. All right. Very quickly, because we might fall short on time. I'm going to ask, I mean, these questions are right in front of you. The options are also given. The first one says, when your child refuses to eat a meal, how do you react? Out of the three, what is it that you feel is the right answer? Go ahead and answer for the, write down the question and your response, please. So first question, first A, second B, however you want, please write it. I'm getting random answers. I don't know what is B, C for, which question. So try and be a little more specific. Otherwise, marking हो जाएगी. Okay. Now, let us just quickly read understand what this question was. When the child refuses to eat a meal, as a parent or as a teacher, how do you react? So, let's talk about why you don't want to eat and find a solution. We all know this is the right answer, right? If you say you must eat everything, no arguments, we are not dictators, right? We are developing human beings. We are not developing a AI machine where you give the input and that there should be a particular output. So we need to just help them understand. I am ready to listen to your explanation. Why do you don't want to eat? And then let's find out a common path, right? So that is the way we will address it. All right. Second question says, your child doesn't finish their homework. What is it that we are going to do? What's your response? So, definitely, it's fine. You can do it tomorrow. Is that all right? I don't check their homework. If as a parent I say that, that's also a very negligent answer, right? But then what do we need to say? That it is not always that we give them independence even before they are not having the confidence. So independence before confidence is not something which is a very bright idea. So we need to give them independence, that all right, you can do your homework at that time, provided you do it diligently and carefully, right? So wherever it is possible, we are giving in to their demand, but we need to be very particular that it is a reasonable demand and it is fine to go by it, right? So it is all right if they are saying we do not want to do it just now, but it can be done in some other part of the day, but ensure it is done. Give them that onus or that responsibility. I am listening to what you are saying, but yet I want to see it completed before the end of the day. Fair enough. Third one says, your child is not sharing their toys with the other. What do you say? What is the answer for this one, everyone? C. All right. C says, let's talk about how sharing can make. Yes, perfectly. This is such a beautiful example, exactly how we should be talking to them. Give reasoning. How sharing is going to become so fascinating and interesting, because we'll have more number of children to play with us, right? Perfect. The next question, there is one more slide. Very quickly, everybody, please keep on answering. Your child is upset because they lost a game. What's your response? You have to learn to lose, so stop crying. It's just a game. Don't worry about it. It's okay to feel upset, but let's talk about handling losing. For me, even the first one is fine, but stop crying is telling them what to do, even if the child is feeling like crying. So, probably not a very bright thing to say. It's just a game, don't worry about it. Now, though it is a game, but when there is a competition, then definitely the child definitely feels bad if he has lost, right? So, the better idea will be that if you are losing, even if it is a game, let's try to understand that it is fine, because it is a game where someone will lose and someone will win. So if you lose, somebody has won. Next time, if you win, there is somebody who's going to lose it. So it is perfectly fine. Either of the two is going to happen anyway, and we are playing a game. So lighten the impact, but certainly make them understand that it is perfectly fine to lose, because this is just not going to happen here and it's going to get over. It's going to happen in their lives when they are going to see their marks, maybe in 10th grade or 12th grade. Oh, I got only this much. I got only that much. That is the time this kind of mindset is going to help them, that just now I was not able to do, I'll try and do it better next time. Or it is all right if I got this much, right? So it is for us. Next one says, your child spills their drink at the dinner table. Again, I have seen the answers. Most of you have responded very beautifully. So 5C. What is 5C? Accidents happen. Let's clean up together. Right. I would definitely go by this. Very beautiful way of getting everyone together. Your child is struggling with a new skill like riding a bike. What do you do? Encourage them and offer support while practicing. Absolutely right. So, this is something which we all should be doing, even if it is not a bicycle. Any new skill, they will fail, but we need to tell them. We have to practice. It happens. First time you will not get in. You can give your own examples. First time I was trying to paint, I was not able to get it correctly, and my paint went all across the paper. But then the second time I was more careful, I was able to do it. If not the second time, the fourth time, the 100th time. But tell them that it is perfectly fine to lose, to not be able to do something, not to be ashamed. That is something we have to build in our learners. Thank you so much. So many teachers have responded. Thank you for your responses, teachers. And finally, this one, your child doesn't get invited to a birthday party. This happens, actually, this happens. Now, this is a very sensitive topic. But when it comes to talking about how they are feeling, then definitely, I'm sure we all understand that it's one feels sad. One feels a little left out. Oh, why was I not invited? But it is okay to ask the child, okay, maybe you were not invited because sometimes, we want to call some set of children. It is not always that we want everybody to go to the birthday party, right? So it is perfectly fine this time you were not invited. You don't have to feel bad about it, right? You will have your set of friends whom you would want to call, and there will be some others who are left out, isn't it? So make them see sense and help them understand that this is a very normal thing to happen. You don't get invited, it's all right. It's bedtime and your child doesn't want to sleep. Again, this is something which we need to talk about in a very rational manner. So I think all of you have already given the correct answer as C. And last is, your child comes home upset because another child made fun of them. Again, something which is very pertinent and important. So let us talk about it. So we have to talk to the children. What is making fun? How did it make you feel? So then we are telling them to first identify how they are feeling. Then they are able to, you ask them what is it that they could do to mitigate that feeling, not to feel that. Something is happening, Jaspal. Yeah. To help them understand that you need to be you need to see that child who is teasing you as another person who has another way of thinking. So he is expressing it in this way. But that is all right. Everybody has this feeling, or everybody has their way of expressing. It's all right if that child talk to you like this. You don't need to take it to your heart. We need to do this because now again I'm emphasizing the teenagers, or the social media has reached to every nook and corner. Looks matter now. The children are so conscious of their looks. And I think recently only I came across an incident where the parent father had put up an Instagram reel stating how the daughter was actually teased and the child actually took some extreme steps. So that means it's a very pertinent thing that we talk about what happens when teasing happens, how does one feel, and how one has to overcome that feeling by ignoring those words, because those words do not define you as a human being, right? You only can define yourself. You know yourself well and better than anyone in this world, right? So tell your children that they need to find their own strengths and stand strongly, right? I can actually go on for hours together on these topics. So we have broadly spoken about these feelings. Now there is something. So this is again, the child is crying because nobody's. I mean, she doesn't want to share her toys. These are some case studies that we had put up. But now, because I have less time, we have dealt with the, when we did the quiz part, we have dealt with most of them. I will give you one strategy here which will maybe help you understand the feeling and how, what we can do. So for instance, look at this particular slide where the child is hesitant to talk in front of others and he is not participating. We as educators need to see what that behavior is, not just in this scenario, in any scenario. What the behavior is, here the child is quiet. What could be the emotion that is making him quiet? Always see the behavior. The behavior is just the tip of the iceberg. And underneath in the water lies the remaining part of it, which is the emotion which is being displayed in this behavior. जो बच्चा अगर क्लास में चुप बैठा हुआ है, तो वो क्यों चुप बैठा है वो हमें जानना जरूरी है. वो क्यों चुप बैठा है? हो सकता है वो डर रहा हो. He might be afraid of talking. He might be embarrassed. He might be shy. So and he might not be having the confidence. उसके अंदर confidence नहीं हो. So बहुत सारे reasons हो सकते हैं. There could be so many reasons because of which he is not talking. But let us understand as a teacher that if that is the case, what can I do to help? So the third thing, first is try to see the behavior. Second thing is try to understand the emotion because of which he is displaying that behavior. And third thing is you need to understand what is it that you can do to help that child come out of that behavior, right? That feeling also. So you need to encourage. So all right, I'll encourage the child. You need to give him some kind of safety or security. Let him have that. So let the child develop confidence that even if I'm feeling, say, fear, I'm feeling anxious, I'm feeling angry, I can handle my emotions. I can ask for help. These are our, little uh, points that we keep in our minds as teachers, help our children give those solutions, and then support them wholeheartedly. So, what is the life skill I'm teaching? That is important. That is what is it that I'm helping my child develop. If a child, we say this child is really naughty, he doesn't sit in one place at all. We need to understand the emotion behind that behavior. Always remember this chant that there has to be a behavior, there has to be a emotion which is being displayed by that behavior, and what is it that you can do to mitigate or help them come out of that feeling. And then emulate ki, all right, when I did this, I was able to develop this skill in my learner. Okay, then we are successful in helping them develop socially and emotionally. Is this making sense to you all, or is it only a talk? Are you able to relate with these kind of circumstances which will occur in your classrooms? There will be situations. Now you have to remember behavior, emotion, my response, what is the skill. Keep these four things in your mind whenever the children are showing some behavior which is variant, which is different, which you need to address. Perfect. Thank you so much. Coming, so these are the situations. Always remember, children who are not interested in writing, it is not that they are not interested in writing. They might be tired. They might be wanting to do something which is more exciting than writing. So can we do something where the child gets that liberty? Okay, I don't want to write now, I'll write later. Give them that choice. so that they are able to use their power of decision making responsibly. And then you can ask them, you had promised, you had said you will do it later, now is the time to do it, otherwise it's going to be night time and we'll sleep. So this way you are helping. Again, I want you all to type down the 4 things I said: behavior, emotion, your response, and the skill you are teaching through your response. These are the four saviors for you when you want your children and they are behaving in a certain manner. Pooja ma'am, when you ask that question for your child, I want you to think of these 4 things. The behavior he is showing is he's throwing water on the floor. The emotion he is going through is something you need to find out. If the mostly they will show this to get your attention. What is it that you can do to help him come out of by helping him? You can give your attention to the child by spending a little more extra time with him. And finally, what is the skill you have taught that child? You have taught him that if you want attention, you can come and talk. You do not have to throw water and get my attention. You simply come and say, I want to talk to you, ma'am, and ma'am will be there. Same thing you can say, okay, now when you go home, you do the same thing. You want to talk to your mama? Talk to your mama by saying, Mama, I want to talk. This sentence they can speak, right? Gradually. In your own regional languages also is fine. I hope I have tried to give you the solutions to most of the problems that happen in the classroom. So here are those tips once again. First of all, be a model, be responsive, listen to them, ask open-ended questions. And what are the ways in which we can develop their social emotional? Definitely, you can show puppet, you can do puppet show, you can tell them stories, you can play games and bring the outcome as this particular skill that you wanted to develop in them, right? Ask questions, give them the vocabulary, let them make decisions, give them choices. What, I mean, what else can we do? But if we do bare minimum out of these, trust me, we are helping our children and developing them socially and emotionally, right? Giving them time, sitting with them, we are done. We are actually giving them that independence. Going ahead, what are the key takeaways? What are the takeaways here? Develop their IQ, EQ, SQ, and AQ. Do you all remember these 4 things? Because these are as important as academics. Do not prepare the road for your child. Prepare your child for the road, right? So what a beautiful quote, that we are not going to give them, okay, today you give them a solution that, say, for example, if the child was crying, he wanted a particular toy, you gave him the toy, or a mobile phone. If it's a parent, they will give the mobile phone just to keep them quiet or make them eat food. That's a temporary fix. It's just a band-aid. But we need to fix the problem from inside. So we need to develop their 4 skills, that is intelligences, and we are developing them wholly, right? This is a beautiful quote which says, first is, what is it that we are achieving through this circle time? We are helping build safe environment for the learners. Each of them will feel connected with us. They will understand. Uh, was my presentation visible? Did I stop presenting?
No, no, it is visible. We can
Or
see it.
yeah. So we are helping them feel connected and safe. We are helping them understand their own emotions, express their own emotions, find out what they can do about it, and then we are also giving them the support that we are there with you to help you, right? Definitely, we are helping them to develop friendship. That is, they are developing socially also, developing all those values which will help them develop as a human being who is well equipped to handle his own emotions and also others, right? Develop resilience and self-regulation to be able to modulate their own themselves, their behavior, their feelings, and be according to what they need to fit in with what is there around them. They should not feel left out. So if we are able to take care of these aspects, we are developing a wholesome child who is confident, caring, and a capable learner. So learning will also happen when we are giving them that confidence. Yes, you can go wrong once, but you will definitely make it better in the next attempt. So they are developing. Final reflection says children may forget what we taught, but they will always remember how we made them feel. This is a beautiful quote, actually. If you all try to recollect the teachers in your own childhood, you will be able to recall the teacher for some things they did. I want you to type out not the name of the teacher, but what did she make you feel? Whatever we have learned in our presentation today, how did she make you feel? Just type it out, and you will be able to understand when you type that this is the feeling she gave me, and that is why I felt very happy in her classroom. This is how she made me understand the concept very patiently, smilingly, happily, and that is why I know my concepts very well. So this is something, as an educator, that I feel our children who are there with you today this year will remember you in the next academic year also, and come back to meet you in the lunch break time if you have made them feel precious, valued, respected, and comfortable. Right? So this is I always say this, as teachers maybe our salaries are not really huge and good, but this feeling that they give us certainly makes me feel like I am earning more than a crore. Right? It gives me that happiness. Absolutely. She made me feel happy and comfortable. She told me stories to understand concepts. Yes. So the way we teach, what we teach is also very important. The way we make the others feel is very important. So this is what I wanted you all to take away from today's session of social and emotional understanding. That we are teaching our little ones to behave in a certain manner. By modeling behavior, we are helping them understand what is the way they will express themselves and how we can help them feel special. Right? Okay, but see here, none of you has actually mentioned that she made me do my worksheets very nicely, and that is why I remember her. Worksheets, books, concepts, yes, all that was done, but the feeling is what is going to remain with you for your life. Somebody who makes you feel precious, you will never feel embarrassed. Somebody who doesn't judge you, you will never feel embarrassed to ask questions. That is the teacher who is actually going to make you feel important and develop you as a human being, right? So finally, this goes on. I mean, I'll conclude my presentation by telling that if we are able to help our learners, name their feelings, that child will now grow up to be able to communicate his feelings well. Right? I will come back to you, ma'am. Rakhi ma'am has written something. We welcome our children with short story and act by teachers on kindness, caring, and sharing. Yes, the values. Perfect. Yes. So they are able to see it because you're modeling it through the stories. Very nice, ma'am. Excellent. So thank you so much, Somlatha ma'am. So I'll just conclude by saying this, that when the child learns to name the emotion, because I told you we have to give them the vocabulary so that they're able to name what they are feeling, right? Then they are growing into an adult who will be able to communicate this feeling very clearly, and they are going to be able to understand what is the importance of being kind and empathetic. Right? Now that child is growing into an adult. That adult is sometime along the line going to become a parent. Right? That parent will now become a person who will start listening more and shouting less. Correct? then this child, the parent is growing a child who will do the same thing. So, we have started an eternal cycle of being kind, of developing the social emotional skills of our learners, so that this chain reaction goes on and on and on. And what challenges we faced as children, or currently children are facing, at least those get addressed through this kind of understanding in the education field, that my reaction to my learners is going to help you. Yes. So again, the same question has come back. Ma'am, if the child spills water intentionally, like I said, now I want the others to tell me. I said, understand it from four perspectives. Four things are there. One is the behavior. I said the child is spilling water, that is his behavior. What is it that the emotion the child is expressing, we are not able to solve. So the emotion the child may be facing is, he's feeling, like I said, maybe he wants your attention. Ma'am, I'm answering you. TPS Sun City, ma'am, I'm answering you. That you need to understand, he might be fearing something, he might be wanting your attention. Out of these two, try to go near him and ask him, okay, you have spilled water. What do you think we should do? If he, even if he is doing intentionally, if he is responding to you, try to get answer from him, that if you spilled water, if I walk over it, what is going to happen? Oh, ma'am is going to slip and fall. Do you want ma'am to slip and fall? Ma'am will fall and then ma'am will get hurt. Do you want ma'am to get hurt? Going to the emotional aspect to it. Normally, children will say, no, we do not want you to get hurt, right? When you are helping the child see the consequence, then the child stops that kind of behavior. When you understand the reasoning behind it, if the child is going to express, ma'am, he will not say, I want your attention. But once he spills it, then he'll smile. And then when you go near him, he'll start talking to you. Ma'am, that boy said this boy was saying like this. That means he is calling for help. He doesn't know how to call for help. This is the only way he knows, and he is doing that. So please understand, try to do this in your classroom with this child, that once he does it, go near him. Ask him why he does that. Why did he do that? Once he is able to explain, you have your answer. If he is not able to explain, you give the consequence of that particular action and see what is his reaction. Say, not just for yourself, for the others also. So your friends are also going to slip and fall. Do you want everybody to fall? Then whom are you going to play with? Give them that consequence. Probably he will be able to understand that also. Right? How to connect social development and bond every child. I didn't understand your question. Brilliant kids, ma'am. So, please reframe your question. In the meantime, I'm just changing my slide. I will certainly answer it. Just reframe it. All right. So we have come to the end of our presentation. Not that I'll not answer you, but for the others, we have presented our QR code here. Please, you can, Jaspal, you can please go ahead and explain it to the teachers.
Sure. So thank you so much, Shubha ma'am, for taking us through this important concept. And I'm sure all of us have got a lot of insights and practical aspects that we are going to use in our classes or in our schools. Now, this is the QR code that you are able to see on your screen. And this is the Instagram QR code of Toondemi. So feel free to follow us so that you can get such tips in future also, which you can use as and when needed for your respective classes and students. So you'll have a lot of insights, a lot of practical aspects, which will be very useful for you. So feel free to check it out and follow us on Instagram. I'll
So,
quickly drop another poll for you. I know you guys have given us a lot of time. I just need another 2 to 3 minutes from you. So I'm going to launch a poll which will help us get the understanding on today's webinar. So these are very simple questions, just your feedback on it. It will take hardly a minute or two. So I would highly recommend and request all of you kindly spend a minute or two and help us with this feedback on this webinar. I'm sure all of you are able to see the poll on your screens.
Thank you so much. It was really nice. I just want to address, there was one question. One of my kids is very distant and doesn't pay attention. What can I do to connect? So, distant in terms that whenever you are interacting, the child is not responding to you. So, normally what happens, what I have noticed is either the child is facing language issue. In that case, children do not know how to respond and what to respond. That is one of the scenarios. The extreme case could be that the child is having some kind of a listening or hearing issue where the child is not able to even understand. I'm sure you would have checked out on that part, and still if you are facing this issue, then it could be language issue. Also, sometimes children are not able to relate because they do not get that connection, and you need to actually be making him come closer to you physically. That is, you sit with the child comes sits in the front row. So wherever proximity is possible, ensure that that child comes closer to you. That way they feel more secure, and then gradually they start opening up. Some introverts, some children who are shy, they do this. They do not bond with you in the initial month, but after they feel confident that you are going to be there, you are listening to that particular child specifically, then they definitely feel closer, and they do not then they try to mix up with you first, then with the rest of the learners. So I'm sure one of these things you can try in the classroom with the learner, and you will be able to bond with him well. And it's so beautiful that you actually want to bond with the child. It is really a beautiful thing. I really love when teachers are trying to bond with their learners, because the class goes on beautifully. Yeah, thank you so much
I saw
everybody for your
somebody asking for the feedback sharing. So the poll is still active. You can probably go through the poll. You'll be able to see on your screen. These are only 5 questions, simple questions, and you just need to select one of the option which you feel is right as per your understanding. And there's only one question where you have to write something. So it will take hardly a minute or two. I would request people who have not yet attempted it, kindly spend a minute or two and help us, with the feedback, so that next time we are able to plan it properly, or in case any insights are there from you, we are able to add those insights. So once again, I would like to thank all of you to take out this time and joining us for this webinar. And I'm very sure this was helpful, and you will definitely pick something from this and start using probably from Monday onwards in your respective classes and for your respective students. And feel free to share that feedback with us or with our respective team member, whosoever is associated with you, just to let us know, okay, this is what worked well for you, and this is the value you were able to get from this webinar and the activity that you tried after picking this from the webinar. And a lot of thanks to Shubhra ma'am for walking us through and sharing these insights. In fact, I was thinking about my own daughter with the questions, because being a parent, I could relate completely, and I'm sure all of us were able to relate. So once again, thank you so much. It was an absolute pleasure, and we are grateful that we were able to, create this community where all of us are gathered and we are learning from one another. So once again, thank you so much, and looking forward to connect with all of you again with such webinars in the near future, and you will have all the information from us. One thing that I would like to share, that you will have the recording. I could see one question was there in the chat. You will have the recording so that you can share with the teachers who are not able to join, and people who would like to go through the overall, whatever we have covered. If you want to go through it again, you will have the access to resources available for that. So once again, thank you so much, and we'll take your leave. Thank you.